Have you ever been so focused on what you don't have that you've made yourself miserable, only to realize that you're overlooking opportunities that are right in front of you? If so, the Four of Cups is the card for you.
Hi everybody, I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel where we'll be learning the tarot deck one card at a time. Today's video is about the Four of Cups. This video will begin with a short description of the card. Next, I'll briefly explain what this card means when it appears in a reading. Then we'll talk about what each element symbolizes and what the card means when it shows up in both the upright and reversed position in a reading. I'll share some examples from my life so you can relate to the card in a real-world situation. And stay tuned until the end and I'll give you several questions to help you connect with the card. I will be using the Rider-Waite Tarot in this video. You'll find the link to the deck below, as well as to the many books that I've used in my research. So let's get started.
In the Four of Cups, we see a man sitting on a hill under a tree. He has a view of the water. He's being shaded by a lovely tree that has lots of foliage. The grass is lush. We see blue water in the background and a clear blue sky. The man is wearing a red shirt, green tunic, blue tights, and red shoes. There are 3 gold cups in front of him. A 4th cup is being handed to him by Spirit. His arms and legs are crossed and his eyes are downcast. When this card appears in a reading, it is about being so detached from what's going on in your life that you don't notice the blessings or opportunities that are right in front of you. Your detachment might be because you are resting, daydreaming, meditating, or just zoning out. Or you might be feeling apathetic, bored, disillusioned, or depressed. Regardless of the reason, you are so detached that you aren't picking up any of the 3 cups, which represents opportunities, in front of you, and are ignoring the 4th cup, which is being offered to you by Spirit. The message of this card is that you need to get your act together, stop moping around, and enjoy the blessings of your life. Let's talk about the symbolism in the Four of Cups. We see a man sitting on a hill under a tree. If he were to look around, he'd notice that he was in a beautiful spot. He's on a hill and has a view of the water. The tree has lots of foliage. The grass is green. Green is the color of adventure, growth, and health, so that's very positive. Some people believe that this image represents Buddha meditating under a fig tree. The story is that Buddha reached enlightenment after meditating for 7 weeks under what became known as the Bondi tree, which is the sacred tree of enlightenment or awakening. We see water in the background and a clear blue sky. The clear blue represents Spirit. There are no clouds in the sky, which shows that his outlook is bright. The man is wearing a red shirt, green tunic, blue tights, and red shoes. The red shirt is close to his body and represents hope and passion. His shoes, also red, represent the same thing, but they are not touching the ground, so he's not feeling the passion. Over top of the red shirt is a green tunic. Like the color of the grass, the tunic represents adventure, growth, and health. The blue tights represent the color of Spirit and is also associated with meditation. There are 3 gold cups in front of him. A 4th cup is being handed to him by Spirit, and it looks like the same cup, which represented opportunity, in the Ace of Cups. The gold color of the cups means that they are a gift from Spirit. So here we are. His clothing is full of positive colors. It's a beautiful day. He's on a hill shaded by a tree. There's a beautiful view. And he has 4 gold cups surrounding him. Yet he looks miserable. His arms and legs are crossed and his eyes are downcast. So what's going on? It's important to think about water, which represents emotions, and the fact that it needs to have movement. Look at these cards. We see water flowing out of the Ace of Cups and onto the pond. We see a river flowing in the 5 of Cups. And we see movement in the water in all of the court cards. But what happens to water when it doesn't move? It becomes stagnant and a breeding ground for all sorts of nasty bacteria and parasites. It's the same with emotions. We need to feel them and not ignore them. So here we have a guy sitting under a tree and not moving. He has become stagnant and he needs to get some more movement in his life. So here are some of the reasons why, when the Four of Cups appears in an upright position, that he might have become stagnant, detached, or downright miserable. Perhaps he's become bored or disillusioned and lost interest in day-to-day activities. He might be hung over from partying in the previous card, or he may be exhausted from a night of dancing or his time in a crowd. Certainly that is the case for me as an introvert, that I need some time alone to detox from a group situation. He may not want the gift that he's being offered. For instance, his dad wants him to go to Harvard University and become a cardiologist, just like his father and his grandfather. But the poor guy is like me and passes out at the sight of blood and has zero interest in a career in medicine. He could be someone who is totally self-absorbed and just doesn't care about what's happening around him. He may be turning inward and daydreaming or zoning out. Or he could be like Buddha and be in deep meditation. He may be thinking about his life and figuring out what he wants to do next. Finally, he could be sad or depressed and just not have enough energy to be interested in the world around him. Here's an example from my life about not wanting a gift that is offered to you. I grew up in a small town in Canada where many of my classmates joined the family business. I had two classmates whose fathers were law partners, and to nobody's surprise, both of these women became lawyers and are still practicing together. When writing this script, I looked up their website to see if their children were also lawyers, but I couldn't tell. They're actually still my parents' lawyers, and I'm not sure they even had children. However, I did learn that one of their fathers is still working in the business and has been practicing law for more than 70 years. I had another classmate who became a dentist like his father, and I also know someone who took over his father's funeral home. I have no insider knowledge about whether people were happy with these gifts or whether they were like the guy in the picture and really didn't want them. When the Four of Cups appears in a reversed position, it could mean that you are ready to shake off your negative mindset and move forward. It could mean that you are tired of being alone and isolated. You may decide to change this situation and reach out to others. If you have been meditating, the Four of Cups reverse can indicate that it's time to stop looking inward and return to your real life. It might mean that you feel restless and are unable to sit still, or that you have no energy. After all, the contents of your cups have spilled out and are empty. It could mean that you are pushing yourself to get out of a rut, or that you are starting to look at your situation from a different perspective. It is interesting that the body position in the reversed Four of Cups is similar to the Hanged Man, which is Major Arcana card number 12. And that card is all about viewing your situation from a different perspective. The reverse Four of Cups could mean that you've had some kind of emotional breakthrough. You suddenly recognize the beauty of your life and are grateful for the blessings you have received. And finally, it could mean that you are seeking out new experiences that excite you. Here's an example of the reversed Four of Cups from my life about moving on from that place of boredom and apathy. Honestly, I think that we all feel like this at some point in our lives. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I am a big quilter and generally really enjoy it. But there are definitely times in my life when I feel incredibly uninspired and really don't know why. Literally nothing appeals, despite the fact that I have a lot of fabric, patterns, and inspirational books at home already. I have come to realize that this is normal for creative people, and when I start feeling that level of apathy, it's a message that it's time to shake things up. Just like in this card when he needs to get the water flowing again. So I might buy some new fabric or a new pattern, or sign up for an online class and learn a new technique, or take an hour and scroll through Pinterest and see if there's anything that inspires me. If I can, I'll go to a quilt show or visit a quilt fabric store. Or sometimes I just need to accept that it's okay to take a break and work on a different kind of creative project, and then pick up the quilting again when I feel more motivated. All of these things will shake me up, and usually inspiration starts to flow again. Here are some questions to help you connect with the Four of Cups. Number 1, have you ever been offered a gift that you did not want? How did you handle it? Number 2, is it time to get out of a funk? What changes can you make? Number 3, what keeps you from experiencing joy? Number 4, what blessings in your life are you overlooking? Number 5, is it time for a new perspective in some area of your life? And finally, number 6, are you spending too much time alone? So I hope that this video has given you a good look into the Four of Cups. And please join me for the next video, which is the Five of Cups.